Hi, I'm Debbie.
And I'm Tim.
Today we are at our local nursery, which happens to be Limberlost Nursery in Cairns. And this video is about whether you grow fruit trees from a nursery and you pay for an established fruit tree to plant, or whether you use seeds from fruit that you buy from the markets or get from a friend or buy from the supermarket even. So there are pros and cons for both. So there are pros and cons for both fruit trees, established, bought from the nursery, and finding your own exotic tropical fruit and growing your trees from seed, including avocados and mangoes and acha-cha, lots and lots of different fruits that you can grow from seed. So today we are going to visit our local nursery, which is the Limberlost Nursery. We are going to visit our local hardware store, our local Bunnings store, and we are going to go to the markets and look what you could grow from there for next to nothing, because you pay for the fruit, you eat the fruit, and you have the leftover seed that you then plant in a pot and create your own tropical fruit seedling. There are so many opinions on whether you grow tropical fruit trees from seed, and a lot of people say don't bother, just go to the nursery, pay for a tree. You're much more likely to have success. It is much more likely to be the fruit that you think it's going to be, or the variety of fruit that you think it's going to be. The problem is it costs a lot of money. So some of these fruit trees can be up to $70 each. Most of them are over $25 each. We want to plant hundreds of fruit trees. We already have 100 fruit trees. If we had paid $25 to $70 for each of those trees, well, we just wouldn't have been able to. So we have paid for some fruit trees for sure, but we have also taken the fruit seeds, the avocado seeds, the mango seeds, the acha-cha seeds, the West Indian lime seeds that we've had from eating, and we have planted those seeds, and we have grown hundreds of seedlings virtually for free. So this is the fruit tree section and the tropical edibles section, and it has a heap of stuff that you can grow in the tropics, unlike say a Bunnings nursery or somewhere like that. So I'll show you everything that they have got. Most of it we grow at Vintage Food Farm, and most of it we have grown from either seeds from Rusty's, or we have bought a mother plant here and then we've propagated it into many more plants. So this is a peppercorn vine which we've got. So that's $22, but once you have one vine, you can then propagate many more vines from it as it grows. You can do cuttings, strike them in water, grow some roots and plant them. So that's cinnamon, and that is $50 for a cinnamon tree. But I do not know how you would grow cinnamon without buying a tree from the nursery. So galangal, and ginger and turmeric. So the galangal is $12.95, so you could just buy a bulb of galangal or ginger or turmeric and put it in the ground. So that's a vanilla vine, and that is $18, and we bought one of those from here, and it is now growing right up a tree. So even though we paid the $18.95 for the vine, we can now do cuttings off of that and grow a heap more vanilla bean vines. So they've got a heap of different varieties of avocados here. Some are $79, some are $55, depending on the variety, and most of them, or all of them I would say, are grafted. So bananas, obviously you can't grow from seed, you would need to wait. You could buy one plant and wait until you get pups, and then separate those pups and grow more. So coconut is $70. So if you go to Rusty's, you can get a sprouted coconut from the Islander store for $10. And obviously this has got about 2 years more growth than that on it. But if you did want a cheaper alternative, that is what you could do. Cassava. So cassava, you could buy a cassava root from the markets and plant that. There's lots of different chilies. This is the native raspberry. So once you have one native raspberry, you have as many native raspberry plants as you want because you cannot stop them coming up. So that is actually a complete bargain as far as the amount of raspberries you will get from a native raspberry plant. For $28 in 1 year, that will be like a plant 2 meters by 2 meters with kilos of native raspberries on it. And then once it gets to that point, it will send up more little suckers everywhere that you can replant. So that's a Panama passion fruit vine. How much is that? So that's $28.95 for a passion fruit vine. So obviously you can grow that from seed very easily, and it would just be a matter of a few months until it was the same size. A papaya plant. They look a little bit sick at the moment, and that's because of all the water we had after Cyclone Jasper, but that is $15. You could buy one papaya from the markets and you would have 100 papaya trees worth $15 each. It's a pineapple, that's $12.95. You can buy one pineapple for $3 and cut the top into 4 and grow 4 pineapple plants for $3 compared to $12.95 for one. So dragon fruit is $18. It probably is worth buying a dragon fruit cutting in a pot like that if you can't find one cheaper or from a neighbour or from somewhere where it's growing, because once it gets going you will have as many plants as you want. But you could certainly get a cutting from somebody for free or for a lot cheaper than $18, but certainly worthwhile if you don't have any other option, because you will end up with a lot of fruit and a lot of plants very quickly. So this is a Washington navel orange and it's $59, which is very expensive, but you can't really grow a good orange necessarily from seed, so that might be an option, is to buy an orange tree. And we did buy 3 orange trees. I think we got them from Bunnings though. So that's a durian and that is $45. We've bought 3 of them so far and they've all failed. You can buy durian at Rusty's in March, but I haven't tried to grow it from seed yet. I believe you can, but yeah, I'm a failure at durian at the moment, so I'm not going to give you any advice on whether you can grow by seed or by plant, because I haven't been able to do either. This is a breadfruit tree and that is $85. But I would still buy one because that is food. That fruit, you can make a breadfruit curry and it is absolutely beautiful. And you can grow it from seed if you can get yourself a breadfruit. So this is one of the things that's really good about Limberlost, is they've got a huge variety of really exotic tropical trees. La Cucha, a Jabbertopodica, a Grumman-Charmer, a Longan, a sugar apple. So that's a Longan there and that is $65, and you can definitely grow Longan or Lonkan from seed, either or. This is a kaffir lime. So a kaffir lime is $45. You can grow them from seed. We bought a tree, but once we have some more fruit on that tree, we will definitely grow some more from seed. So that's a jackfruit and that is $65. And we have grown about 10 jackfruit trees from seed very easily by buying a jackfruit. That's a mulberry, that's $45. I've never tried to grow them from seed. I think it might be hard because they've got such a tiny seed. I don't think it would work. So you'd be better off to buy a mulberry tree. Maya lemon, $59. So we haven't grown proper breeds of lemons, but we have grown bush lemons, and we have about, you know, half a dozen bush lemon trees all around the yard. And honestly, they've got nice zest, they've got sour juice, so I'm happy with that. And they will grow from seed. So that's a Bowen mango for $45, so you can definitely grow that from seed. Tamarind will grow from seed, and a curry tree will grow from a curry berry. So many trees here, heaps of really interesting tropical fruits that are worth paying for, and then a lot that you can just go and get that fruit from the market and grow it as a tropical fruit tree. We've certainly spent a truckload of money at this nursery when we first set up, but we pretty soon realised that with the amount that we wanted to grow, that we needed to be a little bit more creative. So we got in with the ones that we wanted to, we paid for the ones that we wanted to, and then we just set about planting seeds and growing our own trees, because we can't afford to pay for 200 fruit trees at $50, $60, $70, $80 each. But we can afford to buy fruit that we eat and then plant those seeds and see what happens. A rule of thumb to go by is that if it is an exotic tropical fruit and if it has a big seed in the middle, it will most likely grow. So this is a really amazing nursery, and you could set yourself up here with enough tropical edibles to be almost self-sufficient or totally self-sufficient in fruit and veg. And I'm certainly not negative about it. All I'm saying is there is a balance, so pay for some things, but if you've got the opportunity to just mess around and plant some seeds, it is very, very rewarding and really, really cost effective. And stick it in the ground, and in 2 years you'll be at the same place as if you paid for one here. $10 for one pot of sawtooth coriander, and this one's actually going to seed. But if you paid that $110, you would have enough sawtooth coriander if you live in the tropics to keep growing and multiply to last you forever. Every day you could eat it. So $10 is worth it.
Do you want to buy the king of fruits? Keppel fruit, it looks great.
So somebody told me that Keppel is actually the nicest tropical fruit in the world. I'm not sure about that because I really like durian and I really like soursop. But we're going to pay for a Keppel tree because we know we can't get Keppel fruit at the markets. So we're going to pay for a tree and we're going to take it home, and I'm very excited. We're going to plant a Keppel tree.
It sounds really exciting. Apricot, coconut and mango flavour.
So we'll tell you what it's like when we get some Keppels. So a Keppel tree cost $45. And this is why my focus is on growing seeds, because once I come to a nursery, we very seldom walk away without something. And it's too expensive for us. We should not be paying $45 for a Keppel tree. But guess what? We are going to pay $45 for a Keppel tree.
King of fruits, how can you go wrong?
Hi, how is today?
Good, thanks, how are you?
Not bad. Okay, yes. Apples, yes.
King of fruits.
Yes, but then actually all the new growth is a light pink, so it actually looks like an Indian mask tree or a slightly whiter version of a pencil pine.
Oh wow!
New growth is a real coral pink, pink. Yeah. Then the fruit's like cross between an apricot and a mango.
Wow.
Yes. Problem.
So this is another reason to come to a local nursery where they know what they're talking about, because you find out so much information. So pros and cons. Pros are definitely that you can get some really exotic stuff that you can't buy and you can't grow from seed. And you also get a lot of really helpful local knowledge skills.
Scenic Drive, the last house on the right, that's got the 4 big rainwater tanks. That used to be mine.
Okay.
Yeah. Speedway Drive. Scenic Drive is Speedway. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mine, yeah. Long time ago when it was Freedom County.
So this guy used to live in Speewah as well.
But also too, a lot of people don't realise, I have seen Grove Creek come up over 6 metres with one good storm.
Oh, really? Wow. 6 metres?
6 metres. It was dry, so you had maybe water holes, maybe 30 centimetres.
Yeah.
But a good thunderstorm came through from Riva. It started raining about 4:30 one afternoon. Didn't finish till about 6:30 a.m., 7 p.m. a.m. the next morning.
Wow.
And yeah, people were saying that they've never seen. I said I've seen Grove Creek come up, and it came up over 6 metres.
Yeah.
You couldn't. The causeway, as you go into Scenic Drive, was cut off, but people couldn't get over how much rain. I said, it gets decent rain there.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Happy New Year. Make 24 a good year for everyone.
We will.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay, may we help you there, please? There you go. And what's our clothing?
That's why people come to Limberlost, because the people are so nice and they have so much knowledge about all the tropical plants, which is really hard to get unless you go to maybe an online nursery. So we're going out with our Keppel tree. So So there is absolutely no judgment in this at all, because these are really, really beautiful established lemon trees, and they are ready to fruit. So you can buy one of these, you can put it on your veranda, you can plant it in your courtyard, and you will get lemons really, really quickly. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. That is fantastic. But they are $120 each. But I tell you what a great gift for somebody. But imagine if you got a seed and you planted your own bush lemon tree and put that in a pot and gave it to somebody as a gift. They would love it just as much, and maybe even more, because you had grown it yourself. So despite the fact that we are here to show you that buying fruit trees and edible tropical plants is more expensive at a nursery, do not think for a moment that we don't love this place. I love that there is stuff available, at least, so that if you live up here, you're not trying to grow cabbages and broccoli and all the stuff that is never going to work and you're going to fail at. You can come here and get the stuff that actually will grow. And even though it is more expensive than what it could be if you did it yourself, it is still much cheaper than buying your own food at the supermarket eventually. So we're now going to Bunnings and we'll have a look at what the range is, what sort of varieties they have available there, which is usually a lot less than what they have at Limberlost. Limberlost has a really good range. And then after we've had a look at what's available at Bunnings, we will then go to Rusty's and see what you can grow from seed. We are at Bunnings now, and you've seen what you can get at Limberlost, but now we're going to go into Bunnings and I'm going to show you what you can get, what sort of fruit trees you can get, and how much they are. So here we go, the fruit tree section. They've actually got quite a bit of stock at the moment. So that's a dwarf lemon, which is $39. Lots of lemons. And then we've got some lime trees, which are $39. So basically $40 for a lemon or a lime, $29 for a mandarin lime. And this is a good example that we did buy one of those because we've never had a mandarin cross lime before. So we paid for a fruit tree from the nursery, so that, well, it was actually from Bunnings, so that we could try that. So sometimes there is a place for nursery fruit trees, and sometimes there is a place for growing from seed. So more lemons. That's a Lisbon lemon, so that's a really old school lemon tree, and that is only $14.75, so that's great. That's a guava, a cherry guava, and apparently that's free. This is an olive tree, and it is $23.75. People say you can't grow olive trees in the tropics, but you can, because we are. And here is a coffee plant for $25. Figs, boysenberries. There's a curry tree, $25 for a curry tree, $40 for a larger Lisbon lemon. This is a Washington navel orange, and that is $35. Some sort of grafted mango, it doesn't say. So that's a grafted mango tree. There's a whole lot of different mangoes there for $42. This is a grafted avocado, and there's quite a few varieties. And they are selling for $55. So more grafted avocados. So what grafted means is that they have the root stock of another plant or another species of that plant, and then they attach a different top to it. And the reason they would do that, especially in the tropics, is so that you have a really good hardy root stock, but then you still have the beautiful luscious fruit on top. It is what you are paying for when you pay for a grafted fruit tree. So when you grow a fruit tree from seed, you don't have that separate root stock, you just have the root stock that comes with that seed. So most of those avocado trees are $55. So when I buy 3 avocados for $2 at Rusty's at the right time of year, or 2 for $3 right now, and I plant those. Each one of those, when that is that size, will be worth, you know, quite a bit of money. And I would never have gone out and paid $55 for an avocado tree. So that is why I grow them from seed, from the fruit that I buy from Rusty's. So over here they've got some galangal. So that is $12.95. So that's $12.95 for galangal, but you could just go to the supermarket or go to Rusty's and buy yourself just a piece of galangal and put that in the ground, and honestly, in a couple of weeks, you will have a sprouted galangal plant. There's some bay leaves, oregano. So all of these tomatoes that they're selling right now would be very, very, very almost impossible to grow up here in this humidity. So you can grow really beautiful tomatoes in the dry season. If you want to grow tomatoes in the wet season, you need to stick to cherry tomatoes, or you are going to be bitterly disappointed because they will dissolve in the humidity. So the fact that they have so little punnets of fruit and vegetable seedlings at the moment is because it is so humid. It's because we had the rain after Cyclone Jasper, so it was really, really intense right up the far north of Queensland coast. So a lot of the seedlings, a lot of the farms that grow these seedlings lost a lot of stock. So they are now regrowing it, but that's why there is not much here at the moment. If we just take the avocado trees as an example, we're about to plant 20 avocado trees. If I had bought those avocado trees here, it would have cost like $1,000 or something at $55 each, $1,100. So that's fine, you're getting value for money. I'm not saying you're not getting value for money, but I would never have spent $1,100 on 20 avocado trees. But I will go and buy a heap of avocados to eat with our eggs, and then plant those seeds, and then I've virtually got free avocado trees. I've just got to wait a little bit longer. So we are now on our way to Rusty's. So you've seen the sort of fruit trees and tropical produce you can buy at Limberlost. You can see what you can get at Bunnings and how much it cost. And now we are going to go to Rusty's, and I'm going to show you the cheapest way to grow fruit trees and tropical produce. So next we are going to get some lunch.
I'm hungry.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I love Nick's souvlaki. It's either between a souvlaki and a banh mi today. So deciding what to eat at Rusty's is the hardest thing. The options we've got are Thai, souvlaki, banh mi, they've got some Middle Eastern, they've got some Indian, we'll get a booch as well, a kombucha. So whenever you come to eat at Rusty's, first you need to find a table. So there's a whole lot of share tables. And then once you've got your table sorted, then one at a time go out and find what you want to eat. So Tim has just gone and found us 2 banh mi and something else.
Chicken pho.
Chicken pho. So in here. So this is a Vietnamese style banh mi, and what's it got in it?
That is roast pork, that's roast pork with chili.
And then this one?
That's pork meatball with chili.
So I'm having the roast pork. So this is by far not the cheapest banh mi that you will ever get, so it's $10, but to be able to get something authentic at Rusty's markets in cans is worth every cent, and it's got beautiful fresh ingredients. So it's got pickled carrot and really fresh looking spring onion and coriander, and it looks really yummy, and it'll have fresh pate as well, and I'm going to get into it.
The Botanic Gardens, sorry.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I love the pork meatball banh mi. It's fantastic.
I love banh mi.
Yeah, okay, a couple of
So good. I ordered a chicken fur and I got a beef fur, but I'm still happy.
So we're at Rusty's in the middle of Cairns, and you've seen the fruit trees that you can buy at the nursery, and you've seen the trees that you can buy at the hardware store. We are now going to buy fruit from the markets and grow fruit trees from the seeds. And yes, you can do it. If you want to buy one fruit tree and you want to make sure that you get fruit from it, you can go to a nursery and you can buy it, and you are guaranteed that you will get fruit. But here you can pay next to nothing for a whole heap of fruit, a whole heap of avocados, a whole heap of passion fruit, and then you can turn those seeds into hundreds of fruit trees. So there are so many things here that you can grow from the seed. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to show you every single one of them in 5 minutes. Maybe not 5 minutes. Lychees you can grow from seed. Dragon fruit you are better to grow from cuttings, which you can often pick up from a friend or a neighbour, or even at a market you can get a cutting of a dragon fruit, and in 6 months time from planting that cutting you will start to produce dragon fruit, which is pretty incredible. Avocados you can grow from seed. So these are a skyberry papaya which is grown in Mareeba. And we bought originally probably 10 of the skyberry papayas. We took the seeds from them and we now have hundreds of papaya plants and hundreds of papaya that we eat and the chickens eat. So you can grow limes from seed. We went to the Feast of the Senses Tropical Fruit Festival in Innisfail and we bought West Indian limes, which are the most beautiful lime, and we planted them, and we now have about probably 15 lime trees, West Indian lime trees, ready to plant. If the coriander has its roots still on it, you can pop them into a glass of water overnight and then break it up into individual plants and plant the coriander in your vegetable garden or in a pot. Guava you can definitely grow from seed. We have probably half a dozen guava trees on the block, and you can't actually stop growing them because as soon as the guava hits the ground, the seeds will germinate and you will end up with guava trees everywhere. This is actually the best mango you will ever taste in your life, and it's called a dragon's tooth mango. And we got probably 20 of these when we first moved up to Queensland, and we planted the seeds, and we now have heaps of dragon tooth mango trees. And the fruit is like a soft peach, so there's no stringiness to it at all. It's a really beautiful flavour, and you can just buy a dragon's tooth mango from the markets, take it home, eat it and enjoy it, and then peel the seed back and sprout it, put it in a pot and grow a dragon tooth mango fruit tree. Easy. Good, how are you? Good. Passion fruit you can easily grow from seed. So if you come to Rusty's and you get yourself passion fruit and you take them home and you put them into pots, you will end up with passion fruit plants that you can then plant in the garden, and in about 12 months you will have your own passion fruit. So these are sweet potato leaves, and you can grow your own sweet potato leaves easily by coming to Rusty's, buying some sweet potatoes, putting them in the ground, and they will grow and you will end up with more sweet potato leaves than you can ever deal with. And if you have chickens, they love eating sweet potato leaves. And that's the same with cassava. You can put a cassava in the ground and you will grow more cassava. So this is kangkong, and if you pop it into a jar of water, and if you make sure that there is a little joint in the stem, that will grow roots, and then you can plant your own kangkong. So you can have your own water spinach growing in the garden just for $2.50 worth of kangkong from the market. So this is not a video about herbs, but that's sawtooth coriander. And when you've got the bottom of the sawtooth coriander where it's joined right at the bottom, if you can get sawtooth coriander exactly like that one, you can pop that in a jar of water and you can sprout it and you can get roots on it, and then you can plant it in the garden and let it go to seed, and you will have tons of sawtooth coriander. This is sapote mame, and you can grow this from seed. Especially your really exotic tropical fruits you can grow from seed. I'm going to show you a jackfruit, and jackfruit grows really easily from seed. We've got probably 10 jackfruit trees growing just from the seeds from one jackfruit from Rusty's Markets. So those jackfruit are only $6 a kilo. They have heaps of seeds in them. So you can buy one of those. It might be a little bit expensive to start with, but when you plant those seeds, you will grow heaps of small jackfruit trees that you can grow up and then plant in the garden, and you will grow your own jackfruit. This is one of my favorite fruits in the world, and it's called acha-cha, and not many people have heard of it, but it is absolutely beautiful. And we bought some acha-cha and we took the seeds, and we now have about 20 acha-cha trees to plant out in the garden, and I'll show you that on the block, but this is what an acha-cha looks like. That's some more guava there that you can grow from seed, and these are Bowen mangoes, which grow really easily from seed. $2.99 a kilo, what a bargain. When you want to grow mangoes from seeds, go for the most basic unbred mangoes that you can if you want to get something close to what you're buying. So if you get an R2E2 or a Calypso, you'll probably end up with some other sort of mango, maybe like a Bowen or a basic mango. But if you stick to the Asian mangoes and the dragon tooth mangoes and the Bowen mangoes, then you'll most likely get the mango that you planted, and if not, you'll still get an amazing mango. So any pineapple that has a top on it, you can buy one pineapple, you can twist the top out, you can cut the top into 4 at least, and then you can turn that top that's cut into 4 into 4 different pineapple plants. And if you come to Rusty's on a Sunday afternoon, they'll mark those pineapples down and you can get them even cheaper. Hello. How are you?
Yes, I'm very good.
Good.
Thank you.
So these little cheap avocados are actually a really beautiful avocado, and the size is great for one person for one meal. And you can take that seed after you've eaten your avocado and you can put it into a pot of soil and you can water it, and in no time at all you will have your own avocado tree. So it's the middle of the wet season and it is so stinking hot. I am sweating like a pig. It is absolutely boiling and humid.
No, it's not. No, it's not beautiful, balmy.
Hola, 70.
So this is really exciting. This is a meringue which we've seen in Malaysia, I think. I saw it in Malaysia. So it's not a jackfruit, it's not a durian, but it's absolutely beautiful, and it has seeds that you can plant. So soursop you can take the seeds from and grow.
Yummy, eh?
So any shallots, ginger, turmeric, even though it's not a tropical fruit tree, you can definitely buy those, pop them in the ground, and they will grow really well in the tropics. You'll never have to pay $40 a kilo again for ginger. So any of these sweet potatoes, if you live in the tropics or the subtropics, you can buy just the sweet potato from the market. You can pop that in the ground and you'll grow your own sweet potatoes and also your own sweet potato leaves. So they are the main fruit that are usually available at Rusty's that you can buy for cheap, and then eat the fruit and enjoy the fruit, and then take those seeds and put them into a pot of soil, maybe mill mud, but a good potting soil, and you can grow your own fruit trees. How are you? If you're coming to Cairns on holiday, do not miss Rusty's. Come here, buy some fruit, eat some fantastic food, take some fruit back to your hotel. It is the most freshest, most beautiful tropical fruit you will get anywhere in the world. It is fantastic. What are they? Are they snake fruit? No.
Mummy
sapote.
Yeah.
Mame sapote.
Yeah.
So they are mame sapote, and you can grow them from seed as well. Beautiful tropical fruits, really beautiful.
Yes, come to Cairns, everybody enjoy tropical fruit. Come to me in Elf store, everyone. Come and support us. This is sweet and sour mango. This is sweet mango.
Oh, sweet and
Here's
sour.
the word.
Has that got chili on it?
Yes.
Oh.
I bought that for you.
Oh, did you? Good on you. So it's like rojak type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$9. So I can see myself in there.
So this lady's going to be starring in the latest video.
Yes, thank you.
Hello. How long have you been at Rusty's for? A long time.
A long time.
How long?
Over 30 years.
Wow. So you were a little kid when you came here?
No, I was pretty old then. Just the green that makes it look young. Almost retired, but still working.
Yeah. How long have you been at Rusty's for? You've been here a long time, hey?
Very long time.
How many years?
Since 1992.
Oh, wow. That's a long time.
A long time, yeah.
Yeah, and you're here every single week, aren't you?
Yes, and,
Yeah, very cool. Do you ever sell sprouted coconuts or?
Yeah, we get them.
Yeah, you do. Awesome.
Yeah, you're talking about for the fairy floss?
No, just plant them, like.
Oh, plant them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, but we get them for the berry floss that's inside of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So like the fibre?
Well, what happens is that the nut gets this here becomes into a whole solid thing and it goes like berry floss. Delicious.
Oh, wow.
It's a big thing.
This is so interesting. So this guy has the coconut stall, best coconuts ever. They're so beautiful. But he said that if you leave the coconut for long enough, the center of it turns into like a beautiful, delicious fairy floss. I never ever knew that. That is crazy. That is so cool. And he said it's the latest thing. So it is now actually the next day. We were going to do this yesterday, but we ran out of time and energy. So this is the next day and we are back at Vintage Food Farm. And what I'm going to show you first is some of the trees and fruit plants that we have grown from seed that we bought from Rusty's or from a supermarket even. And that's where we get most of our stuff from. So you would have seen that we bought a beautiful little tropical keppel tree, which is meant to be like the best tropical fruit ever.
King of fruits.
The king of fruits. So we paid for that because we couldn't buy a keppel to get a seed to grow them. So I'll show you some of the things that we have grown just from seeds from fruit that we've bought. These are papaya seedlings and we have a lot of papaya around the place. I'll show you one in the garden with some fruit on it. It all did struggle after Cyclone Jasper. So the fruit that's on there is quite small, but you can see that there is new flowers coming up now. So we're going to get a truckload more fruit again now that it's dried out. It's actually a heat wave today in Speewah. We've got a message on our phone saying warning heat wave. I've got to say it doesn't seem that much hotter than normal, but it is very, very, very hot. So I'll show you here one of the papayas that we grew from seed from a papaya at Rusty's, and this was a skyberry bisexual red papaya. And we have so many papaya plants all across the property. Every single day we feed papaya to the chickens and they eat the papaya and they eat the seeds, which is really, really nutritious. And then they make us super eggs because they've eaten so much papaya. And the papaya tastes so good. So I'll show you these seedlings first. and then I'll actually show you the fruit that we bought yesterday, which has the seeds in them, so that you can see how easy it is to get those seeds out and plant them. So they are acha-cha. Acha-cha is a beautiful, beautiful fruit. It's almost got it's got a beautiful flavour, and then it's got like this astringency sort of taste to it as well. Really, really beautiful. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 acha-cha tree seedlings from one bag of acha-cha. We actually got them from the Feast of the Senses in Innisfail. $20 we paid. $20 we paid, but we got 16 acha-cha trees out of it. And I could actually get more because some of the seedlings have actually shot up twice. I'll show you. So a lot of seeds that you plant will send up multiple shoots like avocados. And basically you just let them all do what they're going to do, and then you cut off the smallest shoots and leave the strongest one there and let that take over. So yeah, Feast of the Senses Tropical Fruit Festival in Innisfail. Is it once a year?
Yeah.
Once a year, absolutely fantastic. We bought some really different sorts of tropical fruit, and then we planted the seeds. Very exciting. So these are West Indian limes. West Indian lime it's just a slightly better version than a Tahitian lime. So it's just a basic lime, but it's absolutely beautiful, really fragrant, really sour, and the zest is beautiful. So great if you're using it for Asian food, just beautiful. So we've got 16 plants there. 14 on the table, and I've already planted 2. So, you know, we bought a bag of limes, probably cost us about $5, and we've ended up with 16 West Indian lime tree seedlings, which in, you know, probably 4 or 5 years' time, we're going to have so many West Indian limes, it is not funny. So we're very excited about that. And do you know what? It may even be a lot sooner. It may be only 2 years before we start to get fruit, but we will see. We're patient. There is no way I would have gone and bought, you can't even buy a West Indian lime tree. Like, I've never seen one. So to be able to use the limes, like we ate the limes, it's food, we're going to pay for it anyway. And then to be able to plant those seeds, it's different to going to a nursery and buying a fruit tree. If you want to go and buy a fruit tree, go and buy a fruit tree. This is about using waste. This is about taking a seed that you would have thrown in the bin or thrown in the compost and using it to grow more plants, so that in 3, 4, 5 years' time, you don't have to buy any more West Indian limes. It is about just doing little things slowly and patiently, so that eventually, one day, you will have all of these fruit trees, and virtually for free. And you know what they say, the first best time to plant a fruit tree is 20 years ago, and the second best time is today. So don't worry that it's going to take a few years. Don't worry that it's going to take longer than buying a fruit tree from the nursery. This is something you can do as a hobby. You can plant lots of fruit trees. If you live in a smaller apartment right now, or a smaller property, and you're planning on going to a bigger property, you can start to grow your seedlings now in pots ready for when you move. One of the negatives about growing fruit trees from seed is that you are not guaranteed that you will get the fruit that you planted. So you might get a Hass avocado seed, and you might plant it, and you might get some throwback avocado. You could even get an avocado that doesn't fruit, but the chances are you will. And if you enjoy the process of saving seeds and growing seeds and watching what you can create yourself, it is really, really satisfying. I'll show you these avocados. So these are avocados that we bought at Rusty's for 3 for $2. That's how cheap they are up here at the Rusty's markets. Right now they're 2 for $3, but they were 3 for $2. And we bought a lot of avocados, and we ate them, and we love them, and they're just a small, really tasty, yummy avocado. And we planted the seeds, and I'll show you how many avocado trees we have. So if you look at the base there, you can see that that is an avocado seed, and you can see it's got 4 sprouts coming out of it. So I'll actually cut back 3 of those and just leave 1, let it grow up, and then that is ready to plant in the garden. And one day, I think we've got about 30 avocado seedlings. We are going to have our own avocado orchard, which is really, really cool. And we have paid $10 or something for it. Like, it's crazy. So this is another avocado in here with 2 sprouts. That is a bush lemon that we've grown from seed, and I got them from a friend, and the reason we knew they were going to work is because they'd worked for her. That's the keppel tree that we paid $45 for. $45! But we're really happy with it, and once we get some keppel seeds, then we can grow more keppel trees. Another thing that we grow from seed, from passion fruits that we grow, so originally we bought some from Rusty's. There were already some on the block as well. So we've planted a heap of passion fruit plants. That's another one, but we have lots and lots of passion fruit planted around the block, so we don't need to buy any more. We can just plant as many as we want, but to be honest, I think we've got enough passion fruit going now. Here's another one that you can do. So I'll show you, we're going to go up onto the deck and I'll show you what it looks like. So you saw the pineapples at Rusty's yesterday. So a nice big pineapple is $3, and I'll show you what we do with them. So we have always got pineapples on the go, and we do have too many pineapples, but I can't throw a top away. So I'm like a hoarder of potential plants. If something has the possibility of growing, we want to plant it, because the more we've got, the more resilient we are, the more yummy food we have, the more we can give away to friends and family as well. Like, we don't just eat it all ourselves. But if you buy a nice big pineapple from a supermarket or from a market, and you twist the top off, put it in a jar of water, and you will get roots on it. Actually, there's a video on the channel about how to grow 4 pineapples from 1. So I can now cut a pineapple top into 4, put them in jars of water, and 1 pineapple will give us 4 pineapple plants. Some people do even more. I find 4 is the limit before it starts to fall apart and I lose plants. So yeah, buy 1 $3 pineapple, screw the top out, pull it out, clean it up, put it in a jar of water, or cut it into 4 and put it in a jar of water, and you will end up with new pineapple plants like the ones you saw down on the table. So we're up on the deck here, and I'll show you some of the things that we get seeds from, just so that you get an idea. So this is a dragon's tooth mango that we bought from Rusty's. This is an avocado that we bought from Rusty's. So today they were quite expensive. They were 3 for $2. No, they were 2 for $3, so $1.50. This is a papaya that we grew on the property. This is a lychee that we bought from Rusty's. This is an cha that we bought from Rusty's. And I forgot to show you down there, we also got a tropical fruit called a Hodge plum, which we have managed to grow into seedlings as well. You can find them at places like Daly's online nursery, but they're not always available and they are very expensive. And that's a great option if you can't find the fruit to grow, but if you can, it's a really easy way to get a heap of fruit trees really cheap, especially in the tropics and especially with tropical fruit. I don't know about things like temperate climate fruits and vegetables, like maybe they are better to be bought at the nursery, but with tropical fruit, I swear it is so easy to grow them from seed. So that is a soursop from our soursop tree, and soursop is absolutely beautiful for me. I love it. Tim hates it.
Soursop it's like durian if you hate durian.
So soursop is like a sour custard apple. That's what the texture is like. But it's got a hint of all this really tropical fruit in it as well as the sour. Absolutely beautiful. It's addictive. I truly, truly love it. I can't wait. If I know there's some in the fridge, I think about it in the middle of the night. I want to get up in the morning and eat that soursop. But it does have a bit of that funkiness that durian has, which I love, and obviously Tim does not. So for us, I find that if we get together a whole lot of pots, we usually use mill mud to fill them with, and I have them ready to go, filled with dirt, and then as we get our fruit, I just chuck in the seeds. Sometimes you'll see with that papaya, I've put in a ton of seeds into one pot because I haven't had the time or the energy to plant them out. So I stick them all into the one pot, I let them germinate, and then I'll separate them and put them into individual pots later. So Tim will just show you what a lot of these seeds look like. With tropical fruit, there's only really a few different sorts. There's usually either a big stone in the middle, like an avocado, like a mango, like an cha, like a Hodge plum, or like a lychee, or there's many seeds like in the soursop. There doesn't seem to be a great variation on the style of seed, if that makes sense. Things like citrus, like calamansi, we also grow from seed. So I'll show you this calamansi tree. So we've got a massive calamansi tree, and then we grew this one from seed. So I'm just on my way to show you the calamansi tree, and I found another pot filled with avocado trees. This is a calamansi tree. So calamansi is like a citrus, which is a cross between an orange and a lime. Really beautiful, big in Cambodia, big in the Philippines, big in Vietnam. And we have this massive calamansi tree. And I spoke to the original owner of the property, and she said that they never planted a calamansi. They just planted normal citrus like oranges and lemons. So I think that calamansi was actually used as a rootstock back in the day. And the main part of the tree has died and the rootstock has taken over it. And that is so exciting for us, because I would way rather calamansi than any other citrus. If you take a calamansi and you cut it in half and you squeeze it into a little bowl and you add some soy sauce to that, that is the best dipping sauce ever. And if you have it with fresh prawns, it is so good. So Tim has got a calamansi here he's going to pick, and we'll cut that open and show you what it looks like. People get them confused with kumquats. It is not a kumquat. I don't like kumquats. It is a calamansi. Look in there. And all of those seeds grow and become new calamansi trees.
A little bit sour, a little bit sweet. Cross between an orange and a lime.
Oh, here's something else too. Coconuts. So if you go to the nursery and you go to buy a coconut palm, I think they cost, I think it was about $70. Whereas if you go to a market, a fresh market in the tropics, you can often get sprouted coconuts, and they're usually $5 or $10. So Tim is going to cut up some of these fruits just so that you can get an idea of what the seeds look like. So first a lychee. So that's a lychee seed.
I love lychees.
So this is an acha-cha.
The only way to get this out of here is to eat it off. That is an amazing, amazing fruit. You could open the papaya.
So look at that absolutely beautiful red papaya.
I'll scrape the seeds out.
And with papaya seeds, there's a whole lot of different ways that people say you can do it. Some people say to ferment them for a little while so that the skins come off and that. Honestly, I either plant them straight away or I accidentally ferment them because I put them into a container and leave them for too long, and then I plant them. But either way, it works every single time, and you can end up with hundreds of papaya plants from one single papaya. Just buy a bisexual papaya so that you don't need multiple sexes of trees to pollinate each other. A bisexual papaya, like a skyberry papaya, will be self-pollinating most of the time.
And most importantly, once you've cleaned out the papaya, you get to eat it. That's so good. So good, and grown here. Amazing.
So a lot of people say that you can eat the papaya seeds. If I'm making a smoothie, I might chuck 2 or 3 seeds in. Any more than that and I can taste it and I don't like it. So it's meant to be like a natural substitute for pepper. I'm not that into it. It's got a bit of a Szechuan peppercorny flavour to it. But I do use them to regrow more papaya and also to feed them to the chickens, and maybe 2 or 3 in a smoothie just for the added vitamins and fibre. I don't know why, I just do that.
This is an avocado we got from Rusty's yesterday. And now the dragon's tooth mango. I'll just clean this seed off and I'll get back to you. That's so good.
So there is a little bit of a technique when it comes to a mango seed, but it takes 2 seconds and it really increases your chances of the mango seed sprouting. You can not do it, you can just stick the whole seed in a pot or in the ground and it will grow, but I'll show you what you do. This is a dragon's tooth mango seed, so it's much longer because it's a longer mango. So if you get a Bowen or another sort of mango, Kensington Pride, I think that's the same thing, but whatever. You might have a shorter mango seed, but that's all the same process. This is like an outer casing around the shell. So all that white is an outer casing. So once you cut the 2 ends off of the seed, you should be able to just push it and it creates like a hollow cone around the seed. So you can see there the seed inside. And if I take the seed out, that bit at the end is where the new shoot will come from. So you can pop that in a pot. Doesn't matter which way you do it, it'll find its way up. You can pop it on some wet paper towel in your kitchen and watch it sprout and then plant it. But very, very easy to do.
And don't forget, once you've got the seed out, you've still got the mango to eat.
So literally for a couple of dollars for a really yummy tropical fruit treat, we now have all of these seeds. And we can just chuck those all into pots of dirt, put them on the tables where we water, and in a few weeks we will start to get sprouts, and probably in about a year we will be able to plant them. So we've got more than 30 avocado trees that we've got to plant, and to be honest, the planting is the hardest thing. We're lucky up here because the ground is quite soft in the wet season, so the time for us to plant is in the wet season because the ground is nice and soft and we don't have to water the trees in because the rain does that for us. So the reason you're mulching the tree is to keep the grass away from the base of the tree competing with it for nutrients and water, to keep the water in and to keep the grass down. So lawn clippings will work for at least a month before they start to grow some seeds, and then we can just add more. It's free. I can't see the point in growing free fruit trees and then going and spending a fortune on mulch to put around them when here it'll end up just being grass in a couple of weeks anyway. we're done. We're planting in a heat wave, but it's pretty well always a heat wave here. I know the weather has said it's a heat wave, but it's always hot. The other thing is they're already sun hardened. So we're growing all of our seedlings out in the full sun, so that when we plant them, they don't need shelter or shade, or they don't need to be sun hardened before we put them out. We just make sure that they're grown right from scratch in the full sun, and we find that they grow faster. As long as they get enough water, they're absolutely fine. And then when you plant them into the ground in this stinking hot weather, with this blaring, blazing down sun, you don't need to sun harden them, and they don't wilt or die off too much at all. It is so hot. It's crazy. So we're definitely going to wait until later on this afternoon. So that is it. There is no right or wrong answer, but it is definitely wrong to say never grow fruit trees from seed. Because if you've got them, if you've got the energy, if you want a new little hobby, which is sprouting tropical fruit trees from seeds, it is a really, really satisfying thing to do. And eventually we will have a property filled with beautiful tropical fruit trees, as much fruit as we can possibly eat. If you feel like it, and only if you feel like it, like and subscribe. But most importantly, stay calm in the farm.
That's sour.
Is it?